She walked into the cage and finished fights in under a minute. She walked into the WWE ring and redefined women's wrestling. She walked onto the big screen and stole the spotlight. Ronda Rousey didn't follow the path. She blasted through it. This is the story of a judo prodigy turned UFC legend turned WWE superstar. From Olympic podiums to Hollywood red carpets, Ronda Rousey was never here to fit in. She was here to dominate. The birth of a fighter. Ronda Jean Rousey was born on February 1st, 1987 in Riverside, California. From the very beginning, her life was anything but ordinary. She was born with apraxia, a neurological speech disorder that made it hard for her to speak until she was 6 years old. But even in silence, Ronda was building the fire that would one day make her one of the fiercest athletes on the planet. Her mother, Anne Maria DeMars, was a judo champion, the first American woman to win a world judo championship in 1984. From the moment Ronda could walk, she was exposed to discipline, pain, and the spirit of competition. She began training in judo at just 11 years old, but her childhood wasn't just about sports. It was also marked by deep loss. When Ronda was only 8 years old, her father, Ron Rousey, died by suicide after suffering a severe back injury and learning he might become paraplegic. It devastated the family, but it also became one of the defining moments of Ronda's life. She would carry that pain into every arena she ever stepped into. Judo dreams and Olympic glory. Ronda's judo career began to take shape in her teenage years. Coached by her mother, she quickly rose through the ranks, earning a spot on the U.S. Olympic team as a teenager. In 2004, at just 17 years old, Ronda competed in her first Olympic Games in Athens. She didn't medal, but the experience lit a fire inside her. Over the next few years, she dominated the international judo scene. In 2007, she won gold at the Pan American Games and silver at the World Judo Championships. Then, in 2008, she returned to the Olympics in Beijing and captured bronze, becoming the first American woman to win an Olympic medal in judo in nearly 2 decades. But after reaching the pinnacle of her sport, Ronda was done. At just 21, she retired from judo, burned out, broke, and uncertain about what came next. She went back to Los Angeles with no real plan. She lived in her car for a while, worked as a bartender, and wondered if she had already peaked. She hadn't. MMA, the birth of a legend. Ronda's life took a new direction when she discovered mixed martial arts. She started training in 2010 and quickly realized something. Her judo skills gave her an edge no one could handle. She racked up wins in amateur MMA fights in seconds, literally using her signature move, the armbar submission. Her professional debut came in March 2011, and it was clear from the start. Ronda Rousey was a different breed. In just a year, she went from local fight cards to headlining Strikeforce events. She was charismatic, brutal, and unapologetically confident. She talked trash, backed it up, and had the aura of someone who was destined to change the game. And that's exactly what she did. The UFC and the Rousey Revolution. When Dana White, president of the UFC, once said that women will never fight in the UFC, he hadn't met Ronda Rousey yet. In 2012, he signed her to a contract, making her the first female fighter in UFC history. She was immediately crowned UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, and the rest is history. Ronda's UFC debut came in February 2013, and she did what she always did. She won by armbar. In the first round, she defended her title 6 times, with fights that barely lasted a round. Opponents trained for months, only to be crushed in under 60 seconds. But it wasn't just about winning. Ronda made women's MMA mainstream. She headlined pay-per-view. She broke gate records. She opened the door for fighters like Amanda Nunes, Rose Namajunas, and Valentina Shevchenko. She was the face of the UFC, male or female, and she was everywhere. Magazine covers, talk shows, movies. She even hosted Saturday Night Live. Ronda Rousey wasn't just an athlete, she was a movement. The fall, Hall, Nunes, and the end of an era. But no legend rises without eventually falling. On November 14, 2015, at UFC 193 in Melbourne, Ronda faced Holly Holm, a decorated kickboxer and boxing champion. The world expected another quick Rousey finish. What happened instead shocked the planet. Holm picked Ronda apart with footwork and strikes. Then, in the second round, she landed a devastating head kick that knocked Ronda out cold. It was her her first professional loss. And it wasn't just a defeat, it was a breakdown. Ronda disappeared from the spotlight, later revealing she had struggled with depression and even suicidal thoughts after the loss. The unstoppable force had been stopped, and the world watched as she crumbled under the weight of her own myth. She returned in 2016 to face Amanda Nunes, hoping for redemption, but Nunes demolished her in 48 seconds. No armbar, no comeback, just brutal, cold reality. After that night, Ronda quietly walked away from MMA. No retirement speech, no goodbye fight, just silence. WWE, from the octagon to the ring. But if you thought Ronda Rousey was done with fighting, you were wrong. In 2018, Ronda shocked the sports world once again, this time by debuting in WWE. Many were skeptical. Could she wrestle? Would fans accept her? She answered every doubt with violence. Ronda's in-ring debut came at WrestleMania 34, and she stole the show. Fans were stunned. She wasn't just good, she was phenomenal. She quickly became WWE Raw Women's Champion, defending the title for nearly a year, and headlining WrestleMania 35, the first women's main event in WrestleMania history, alongside Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Ronda didn't just transition to pro wrestling, she dominated it, just like she always had. After WrestleMania 35, Ronda stepped away to start a family. In 2021, she gave birth to her daughter, Laakea Makalapua'o Brown. In 2022, she returned to WWE and reclaimed her spot at the top, winning the SmackDown Women's Championship and continuing to shape the next chapter of her legend, Hollywood dreams and global fame. While conquering combat sports, Ronda also found time to become a movie star. She appeared in films like The Expendables 3, Furious 7, and Mile 22, bringing her fierce energy to the big screen. She was tough, believable, and charismatic, a rare combination in action roles. She also made guest appearances on shows like 911, and her name was constantly trending, whether for her performances, her interviews, or her powerful stance on women's equality in sports. Ronda used her fame to speak up, often challenging how female fighters were paid, promoted, and respected. She didn't just fight for herself, she fought for all women. Legacy, the trailblazer who changed it all. Ronda Rousey's career isn't defined by one victory or one loss. It's defined by revolution. She revolutionized women's MMA, proved that female fighters could headline the biggest events, helped launch WWE's Women's Evolution, and showed young girls that toughness isn't just for men. She built her empire not by fitting into the system, but by breaking it apart and rebuilding it in her image. From a speech-impaired child to an Olympic medalist, from a homeless former judoka to the baddest woman on the planet, from a humbling defeat to a blazing comeback, Ronda Rousey is proof that resilience isn't loud. It's relentless, whether you loved her or hated her. One thing's for sure, Ronda Rousey changed the game. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Ronda Rousey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. What's your favorite Ronda moment? Was it the armbar, the knockout, the WrestleMania main event? Thanks for watching, and remember, legends aren't born, they're made, one fight at a time.